If you've ever looked into renting a cabin in Yellowstone, then you know how expensive they can be. We're talking a minimum of around $200 a night to stay in the park. But what if I told you there's an alternative that, while not necessarily in the park, is only about 2 miles from the gate? Today we're going to talk about the cheapest Yellowstone cabin that you can rent that you just might not know about. Hi, I'm Glenn with Outbound Vistas. Here we talk about travel, trails, and the adventures in between. While planning for a recent backpacking trip to Yellowstone National Park, we decided that it didn't really make sense for us to bring our typical travel trailer all the way to the park and leave it in a campground for 3 days while we were in the backcountry. Without the trailer, we could make the journey from our Colorado home in a day instead of having to break it up over 2. Plus, park regulations say that you're not supposed to leave a campsite unattended for more than 24 hours, and we would still be paying the camp fee even while we're in the backcountry. Stack on top of that, sites were solidly booked in the area that we wanted to stay, and because of the late September timeframe of the trip, many of the campgrounds had already closed for the season. Exploring other options, the lodges in the park were expensive at nearly $300 a night, and staying in one of the gateway towns would have put us too far away from where we wanted to start our backcountry portion of our trip. Then we stumbled onto the Headwaters campground at Flagg Ranch. This campground is located just outside the southern entrance to Yellowstone and is adjacent to the John D. Rockefeller Memorial Parkway. This location not only gives guests great access to Yellowstone, but also is convenient to Grand Teton National Park. As U.S. Forest Service campgrounds go, this one is notable for the amenities that the campsites have. There are 32 tent-only sites and 94 RV sites. The RV sites all have power and most have sewer connections as well. Aside from Fishing Bridge, this is the only National Forest Service or National Park campground in the area with full hookups. This alone makes it the area attractive for larger rigs, though we rarely use full hookup sites ourselves. The tent sites are $52 per night and the RV sites are $102 per night. Of special note though are the cabins. These small rustic cabins are great for small families, they sleep up to 4, or for anyone who is looking for a little more shelter. Because of the season, we decided that rather than setting up our tent, we wanted the extra protection of the cabin, and the cabins rent for $102 per night. As I mentioned, these are rustic. There is no electricity or heat, though a battery-powered lantern is included. The cabins measure about 12 feet by 12 feet and have large windows plus a porch. Bathrooms are on site, but just a short walk away, and they do include showers. Inside the cabin, there is a small table with 2 chairs, a dresser, and a set of full-size bunk beds. Outside, you'll find what you most commonly find at most campsites, a picnic table and a fire ring. You certainly still need to think of this as camping because of the sparse nature of these cabins, so plan on most of the normal camping gear you would typically need. Sleeping bags, a stove, camp chairs, etc. But you can leave behind the tent and the mattresses. Because there is no tent to set up, moving in and out is super fast. We recommend bringing along at least 1 additional battery-powered lantern and a flashlight or headlamps as well. Other amenities at or near Headwaters at Flagg Ranch include a laundry facility, an information station run by Grand Teton National Park, a small general store, and the Headwaters Lodge and Cabins. For comparison's sake, a room at Headwaters Lodge runs about $300 per night. While we were not staying at the lodge, they welcomed campers from the Forest Service campground to dine at Sheffield's restaurant. The restaurant is open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and while the business benefits from a captive audience, the food did not disappoint the couple of times we dined there. The bar that adjoins the restaurant also had sandwiches available for a quick grab-and-go bite. The staff were warm and friendly and even allowed us to play some cards at the table after dinner. For reference, Coulter Bay in Grand Teton National Park is about 25 minutes to the south, and Grant Village in Yellowstone is closer to 35 minutes to the north. These are the next closest facilities that would be similar to what you find at Flagg Ranch. This location avails itself to day hikes that would normally take quite a trip to do. For example, the Terraced Falls hike is a wonderfully isolated trail where we just saw one other party during our 3.6-mile hike. Grassy Lake Road has several trailheads that can take you into Yellowstone to the north or into Jedediah Smith Wilderness to the south. These make staying at Headwaters Campground perfect if you are planning a backcountry trip at any of these trailheads. While Flagg Ranch is much different than our typical camping situation, it fit the needs we had for this trip. As it turned out, we came in just as a pretty severe storm system had been pounding the area for a few days, so the entire area was really wet. The extra shelter was a respite before we headed into the backcountry. The convenience for the nearby national parks can hardly be beaten if you're splitting your time with them, so if your itinerary spans both parks, definitely look at Headwaters. If you're looking for something just a little bit different in the area, definitely consider Headwaters Campground at Flagg Ranch. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, it helps us a great deal.